to discuss?
I would like to discuss accessing my third eye. When I try, I often have headaches, and I often get visuals of very upsetting, traumatic scenes. And then
such as
often they're kind of rape scenes.
Yes.
And so, for instance, one time I was trying to do a past life regression, and then I was led by somebody I know in my childhood home into a room, and then that scene started to play out, and then I screamed no, and I was taken out of the scene, and then I haven't been able to.
All right. Do you believe this is something that actually physically happened to you as a child?
No.
Then what is the idea that it symbolizes for you?
The only thing I can think of is some kind of powerlessness.
All right. Why do you believe that you are powerless? Where did you learn the idea that you are powerless? And why do you hold on to that idea if that is the resistance that you are experiencing in your attempts to open up your third eye? What are you afraid might happen if you are successful in that?
I'm not sure.
Well, let's explore that idea. Let us say
Okay.
then you go through some kind of exercise or ritual and you are successful in opening up your third eye. What do you imagine is supposed to occur when you do that? What kind of abilities would you then have in your imagination?
In my imagination, I see my whole world opening up on all levels. I feel like.
What does that mean? Can you give us a specific example physically of what that means?
Oh, you mean in my day-to-day life?
In other words, you said your whole world would open up. What does that mean? What's an example of your world opening up? What would be happening that's different than what's happening now?
What would happen that is different than happening now is I feel that I would have a stronger sense of self and clarity.
A stronger sense of self. What do you have a sense of yourself as now? As powerless, as you said? Powerless to do what? Powerless to follow your passions in life?
Yes.
Why do you feel powerless to follow your passions? What are you afraid will happen if you do follow your passions?
I have to admit, I'm actually afraid of being myself.
Because what do you think will happen if you are? What are you afraid will happen if you do?
The only thing I can think of, and it doesn't even completely make any sense to me, is I have this idea that I'm a bad person and that will come out and I have to keep it down.
All right. I will tell you a secret, if I may.
Yes? Sure.
A, you're not a bad person. And B, because you are concerned that you might be a bad person proves that you're not a bad person, because bad people are never concerned that they might be bad. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you will always check yourself to make sure that you are staying on track in the vibration that you prefer to be in. You wouldn't even consider the idea if you were not a good person. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand?
Yes, that makes sense.
So there's really nothing to worry about, because you can always take the time to check to make sure that what you are putting out is the best possible energy with the best possible intention, So, since you were constantly willing to check yourself to make sure you are not doing something negative, then you have the opportunity to realize that that check and balance system within your consciousness will prevent you from really doing something negative. And even if you mistake something and wind up doing something that might be considered negative, you will correct yourself. You will course correct as you go. And these are the lessons you will learn in life. And this is the process that you've agreed to go through to learn lessons and stay on course as to the true being that you are. Yes?
Yes.
And that's okay. That's okay. There is no judgment in this except the judgment you heap upon yourself. You're not judged by all that is. You're going through experiences. You are aware that you're going through experiences where you might make some mistakes or do things you don't prefer to do. And you are willing to course correct yourself and learn the lessons that bring you back to center. Yes?
Yes.
Then don't worry about it. Just move forward, knowing that you have this course correction mechanism firmly planted in your consciousness, that you will always pay attention to what you're doing and that you will do your best. And that's all that you can do. Yes?
Yes.
Are you a little bit more relaxed about this?
Yes.
That's a hesitant yes.
I
Are you still not sure that you will course correct? Why are you so worried that you will be a bad person? Who taught you that you are a bad person?
Because of
Or at the very least, that you're not necessarily a good person. Who taught you this?
my mom.
All right.
She told me I wasn't.
Do you understand that that's her fear about herself? And that she's just projecting it on you? Do you understand that?
Yeah, I feel guilty about the things I did as a child.
Such as?
Um, I wasn't always the nicest to my siblings,
All right.
and
And
I
why
wasn't
do you feel guilty about it? Because you know it's not the vibration you prefer. Therefore, again, the guilt is simply an indication that you're checking yourself. You know that that's not the vibrational state that you prefer to be in. That's not the vibration that is true for you. But you have to let go of the guilt to learn the lesson that you've already learned. That's not your preferred vibration. Otherwise, you're just stuck in the vibration that you don't prefer because you keep choosing to feel guilty. So fine, that's not how you now wish to behave from this point forward. Let go of the fact that you need to keep feeling that guilt because otherwise you won't move forward. You won't learn the lesson.
Okay.
Do you understand? Okay.
Yes, that makes sense.
I know it does. That's why I said it.
Thank you.
Does this help?
Will letting go of the guilt allow me more access to my third eye?
Of course. Do you think that guilt is part of the idea of opening up your third eye?
No.
All right. Then open the door and understand that, again, even if you make what you typically call a mistake, you now know you don't have to feel guilty about it because you're willing to learn the lesson that helps you bring yourself back into alignment. This is all karma is. Karma, in its original intention, is called action. And it means you just take the actions once you recognize you might be out of balance to bring yourself back into balance. That's it. That's all karma is that recognition that you're out of balance and a willingness to bring yourself back into balance. It's not about guilt. It's not about punishment. It's not about retribution or revenge or anything like that. It's not about self-judgment. It's about recognizing that you are learning things and that what you are learning is something you can apply in the way that you prefer to, so that you can move forward and not anchor yourself to the past. You've learned the lesson. Move on.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Or will that do?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Uh, do you have any suggestions on being more confident being oneself?
I just gave you all those suggestions.
Okay.
Because look at it this way as a paradox. You think you're not confident, but you're confident that you're not confident. So you're using your confidence to pretend you're not confident. It's not that you don't have confidence, it's that you're using your confidence in a negative way to pretend that you're not confident because you're very confident about the fact that you're not confident. See the
Oh,
paradox?
yes.
So it's not that you lack confidence, it's that you are confident that you lack confidence. So choose something else to be confident about.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Thank you. Yes?
Oh, can I ask one more question?
That was a question. I guess you need to ask another one then.
In my dreams, I always dream of being in someone else's home. Can you?
Yes.
Is there a way I can
You're
dream of
not
being in my
at
own home?
you're not at home in yourself yet. When
Okay.
you take to heart all the things we've just discussed, you will find yourself in your own home, metaphorically speaking.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Also, do you have any exercises or way of recognizing direct feeling of source?
No, don't worry about that right now. Just take to heart what we've already talked about. You'll find your way and you will have the experiences you need to have. Just relax.
Okay.
Don't be desperate and don't believe you're missing something. Just move forward in the way that we've discussed. All right? Everything will fall into place.
Thank you.
Relax. Enjoy. Good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, going off of what you said, refreshing us, it's funny because I wrote down in my notes to ask you about survive and thrive.
Yes.
So, I wanted to ask you about, as we're reconnecting with nature and connecting with a world we prefer where we're in harmony with nature.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about going from the idea of survival that we have in this reality now to more of thriving in nature and working with nature? Because I know that there seems to be a fear of lack of comfort, fear of not having enough of what you need, fear of having the things that we decide now are exciting to us, that may not exist in that new reality where we're completely living in harmony with nature.
Yes, but again, if that is the reality that is actually representative and reflective of your true self, then whatever needs to be there to fulfill that basic need, whatever form it may take, will be there automatically as part of the definition of that reality. And the thing to remember, instead of what you're saying in terms of how can you thrive in nature, you have to remember that you are nature. So it's not thriving in nature, it's thriving as nature. That starts to allow you to feel the connection that you have. Because it's not a connection, again, with nature. You are nature. And that's the difference in the mindset, in the definition, in the way you relate to the idea you call nature, by not separating yourself even one iota by thinking that you're in nature. You are nature. Does that help?
It does, yes.
Remember, Gaia, what you refer to as the world soul, the world spirit, you are an extension of that, just as any tree or rock or stream or animal or anything is. You are an extension being made out of, so to speak, physically speaking, the atomic structures that are available on your world from Gaia. You grow like any plant, like any flower. You are an aspect of nature, of Gaia, of your planet, of the universe. So it's about knowing that, behaving more like that, and you will experience the communion that automatically exists between all life forms or expressions of Gaia that know that they are nature rather than thinking that they simply exist in nature, which is a separate definition. Does that help?
I understand. It does.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so kind of along the same lines. I'm aware that I've been connecting with many beings, but one in particular recently who's been communicating to me through the moon.
Yes.
Is there anything you can say about that or add to that?
Well, what are you experiencing in that communion? What's
Essentially,
it opening up within you?
my curiosity in exploring what's in the dark at night, quite literally,
All right.
and my ability to connect with the cycles of the moon and what that represents.
All right. So a deeper connection and understanding to not only your emotional component, but also the idea of the mysteries of the night, the mysteries of the deep, the mysteries that exist within parts of your consciousness, the mysteries that will allow you to open up and understand both the light and the dark within you in a way that can be used more positively. Because remember, you never leave the dark behind. It's always with you. No matter what level you're on, it's always with you. But it's about maintaining a balance, understanding the mystery of the balance between the light and the dark that allows you to explore and express those abilities in your physical reality more effectively. So light and dark, allow yourself to know that they blend in the balance point between you. As you explore these mysteries, that's where you will find the answers that you seek, in the balance point between the light and the dark.
Yes, because it feels that as we open up to more beings and realize our communication that we're already having, it seems like there's an imprint that's made where it's almost like you can now access that at any time, I suppose.
Yes. We call that a simulacrum. A third reality identity is formed that allows there to be the experience of sharing between what you perceive to be two other realities.
Understood.
Does that help?
It does. Thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Hi.
Good day.
Hi.
Good day.
So wonderful to be with you again.
It is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you as well. Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you for wonderful reminders and reflections that you just gave to us.
Yes.
You said about one to three jump and harmony link, taking you to the structures. So I'm a big fan of what's so-called descriptive geometry, and can get overly excited over the Metatron cube, as I love to derive platonic solids out of that.
Yes.
Of course, we know that the two representation of each platonic solids in the Metatron cube, and so what I see it as a living organism that kind of playfully arranges itself and also moves and rotates and breathes.
Yes.
And although I understand I don't comprehend completely everything, but I try to observe. So can Metatron cube be an expression of absolute consciousness? Or is there something else that needed to be added for a reflection of such expression?
It's an expression of the connection of consciousness from a higher state to a lower state and vice versa. So it's more like a gateway between different levels of consciousness.
Oh, okay. So that's the all that represents for us.
It's the way it expresses itself in your reality, yes.
Okay. And you also marked that what is relevant to us will come at the perfect moment and not a minute early and not a second too late.
Yes.
So that the time component has the ability to accelerate or slow down. And some instances,
Yes.
like it's doing it simultaneously at the same time. So
Yes. Remember that everything exists simultaneously. Your perception of time is an illusion based on the state of being that you're in, so it will alter its perception for you in whatever way, shape, or form is relevant to the state that you're in.
I wonder if it's possible to know how to stretch the dimension of time, or what time consciousness and how it's placed through our own density.
Live in the moment, live in the now. The paradox is the more you live in the now, the less you actually age and the longer you live. That's the paradox.
And the synchronicity of that?
Is that you are finding out by living more in the now that you're creating your physical reality experience, that it's an illusion and just a projection of your consciousness. So it becomes more flexible, more malleable. Time and space become more fluid, more stretchable in whatever direction you prefer at any given moment, because you're realizing that it's your projection, it's your creation by living in the now and experiencing more of the simultaneity and experiencing more freedom to choose what is relevant and real for you at any given moment in that illusion.
Fascinating.
Yes.
One more quick point. In 5 laws of existence,
Yes.
you just say that everyone is the reflection and everything is connected and each support each other.
Yes.
I have in 2013, of spring of 2013, I was at your 2-day session in Sedona, Arizona. And at the end of the second days, the lucky participants, we were able to have a guided meditation by you in the very, very large outdoor labyrinth.
Yes.
And so it was quite an experience, and many revelation came through the meditation. But the one particular thing or experience I would remember, and at the end of the allotted time, I was coming back to my earthly body from the places that I cannot describe in the world, and I was coming back with extreme fast speed. And just before I came into my body that was resting in that gigantic labyrinth, something happened. It just went like a sphere opened up and expanded. And at that moment, I saw myself, meaning myself, in everywhere.
Well, congratulations.
And that happened before. And I saw it as a oneness or unity at that time. And what happened several months ago, I was walking down the street, and that was no meditation or anything. It was just casually walking in the very street. And I've experienced that again when I saw everybody as myself. All those people coming in towards me or going with the flow with me. People
We understand. We understand.
So my question is, what is that I am experiencing, and how can I develop it more so I could practice the oneness with all in everything?
Just keep living your life and know that those synchronous markers will appear when they need to let you know that at that moment you're in the correct vibrational state, and is from that vibrational state that you need to take the actions in the rest of your life. Now, it may not always feel exactly the same, but if you remember what that felt like, you're in the proper state. So all you have to do is recall those moments and what it felt like, and know that in that moment, even if it feels different, you're in the correct state to take action in your life in the way that's most aligned with you. So it's a reminder marker for you.
Thank you. I have one very silly question, like a very quick one. I currently study a Sanskrit language and find many interesting things in it. And I remember that you said that everything is the expression of consciousness. So please share your knowing about such displays of consciousness through Sanskrit language. And is that language used in time contemporary to you, or in what dimension, if any? Thank you.
Well, it's what you perceive as the past, although there are some elements of the Sanskrit language in the hybridized language that is our ancient language, because we also existed at that time, because time for us is flexible and malleable in our relationship with the people of Earth. But every language is a vibrational state that represents a certain form of communication, a certain expression of consciousness that is relatable by certain groups of people operating on that frequency. So it's representative in a sense of its own dimension, and will be related to and attracted by people who are at one with that particular frequency and need to receive information in that way.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
And to you, good day.
Hi, Bashar. I am so honored to get to speak with you. This is my first time getting to speak with you.
As are we honored to speak with you.
I'm so excited. Recently, I heard you say that interaction with dolphins and whales is a good way to prepare for contact.
Yes, because they're already connected telepathically to many other extraterrestrial civilizations, and you get the chance to experience literally an alien society on your very own planet. So learning to commune with them is going to help you learn to commune with other extraterrestrial beings as well. Not necessarily all of them, but some of them.
So 7 years ago, I attended your cetacean transformation workshop.
Yeah.
Emmy and April were there, of course. It was life-changing for me.
All right.
So I'm so grateful for that workshop, because ever since then, every single year, every spring, I have gone back to Hawaii to swim with the dolphins and the whales.
Yes.
And I don't even understand totally that the pull and the draw, but it's like I go every single year. It's like I need to be there. I feel so connected to them. I have a knowing when I'm with them. And it's like, I know this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
They're your permission slip for getting in touch with the aspect within you that is also vibrationally and energetically connecting to extraterrestrial civilizations, so that they remind you by plucking that cord within you how to center in those vibrations and apply them in your physical reality to your benefit, to your advantage. So you're using them as your permission slip to remind yourself how to stay in that frequency.
So I've had this very vivid vision that the dolphins were taking me to a pyramid in the ocean. I had a job there. And what my job was when the ships would land in this pyramid, I would put my hands on this crystal ball and the top of the pyramid would open. And this is how the ships that were landing, this is how everybody got out of their ship. And as the beings would come out, everybody would thank me for helping them to have a safe landing. And I felt all this love coming from them.
All right.
So my question is am I remembering?
You're connecting to the idea of a memory, as you would call that idea, of Atlantean times.
So it is a memory that I'm having through the meditation.
Yes, in a sense. But again, remember, everything exists simultaneously. So what you call a memory is simply a memory from your space-time perspective, because you are connecting now in the present to that person in the idea of Atlantis, which exists alongside you right now, and making the connection in a way that allows you to draw information, experience, and energy from them to aid and assist you in this life, as they may also be drawing from you to aid and assist them in their life. So you're two different people, but the energy connection is experienced by you as a memory, because that's how you experience space-time in your physical reality, as if it's a past thing, when in fact it's simultaneously existent with you now.
Oh, wow. So my other question is, I'd like to expand on the experience. So I'd like your thoughts on how to do that. How do I keep this momentum going?
By following the formula. That's why we give it to you. That's why we boil down the formula as the essential instruction manual for how you move forward and accelerate in your life. And that means automatically every bit of information and every experience that's relevant for you will come to you in perfect timing. That's why we give you the formula, so that you don't necessarily need anything else. If you want something else, it's up to you to attract it as a permission slip. But the 4-step formula of acting on your passion every moment that you can to the best you can, taking it as far as you can till you can take it no further, and doing that with no insistence or assumption on the outcome, and remaining in a positive state no matter what happens, and letting go of the beliefs that don't work for you, that's all you need to do to ensure that everything you need that's relevant for you will come to you in your life, including information, experience, and opportunity. That's why we boil it down to that simple 4-step formula, so you don't have to overthink it.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm trying too hard.
Yes. Just go with the flow. Follow the instructions. The machine of existence will work in your advantage as advertised. Just like any instruction manual would allow you to experience the operation of any machine to your advantage if you follow the instructions.
Thank you. That makes so much sense to me.
I know, that's why I said it.
The other question I have is, given our current situation here on our planet, we seem to have a lot of upheaval at the moment.
You're only assuming that you're on the same planet. Remember that just because you can see something that is representative of a reality you don't prefer doesn't mean that you're actually sharing that reality just because you can observe it.
Okay.
There are an infinite number of parallel versions of Earth that exist simultaneously. For now, most of you will see some of those different versions that may not necessarily be the ones you prefer. That doesn't mean you live in it. It just means you're capable of observing them through what we would euphemistically call a glass wall. So just because you can see through the glass wall doesn't mean that anything they do can reach you through the glass wall. So just continue to take the actions, learning from what you observe from others, and being the living example that they might be able to see through their side of the glass wall that lets them know there might be another option other than the ones they're already considering or choosing. And then ultimately, you will each navigate yourselves to whatever version of Earth is most representative of the state of being that you believe is most relevant for you, positive or negative. But it's not one planet.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, that helps a lot, because I would really like to be of service.
And then be your best self, because then you set the example for what others can do for themselves as well. You can share whatever information synchronicity shows you is relevant for you to share, but please do remember, whatever anyone does with that information that you share with them is none of your business. Because it doesn't really matter, because they're going to decide what version of Earth they're going to experience, and it may not be the same version of you, but that's all right. Remember, you're all infinite and eternal beings. There's no hurry. Something that is not learned today will be learned tomorrow, or a year from now, or a millennia from now.
Thank you, Bashar.
You're welcome.
That's all my questions.
Thank you. Our unconditional love to you.
Yes, love to you as well.
Good day.
Good day.
We will reach a point where we feel our connection to the all that is, and where we are safe, and where we are connected, and can join in a realm where there's a lot of love and peace. Yet I know that you said that on every realm of existence there's polarity, so I am wondering how this fits together. So how is polarity expressed in the higher realms? So it's, if not by or through fear or through darkness, or so if we are increasing our vibration, our frequency, then on a high plane, how is polarity reflected then? So thank you.
First of all, it's not about escaping polarity. It's about utilizing it in a more positive way. As we just explained to another individual, the idea of limitation can be an expression of polarity, but it's not always necessarily negative. So we can impose limitations upon ourselves in a positive way in order for us to make discoveries, surprises, experience the unexpected. That, in a sense, is a utilization of polarity in a positive way. But you don't escape it. You simply make choices that don't allow you to express polarity in a negative way. So yes, it exists on every level, but can be used in very positive ways, as I just described.
Good day, Bashar.
Good day.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Our passion and our pleasure to do so. What would you like to talk about?
I would like to clear up a possible misinterpretation I have of something you said in a recent transmission.
All right, let's do that.
All right. I perceived you as saying that you would be perhaps the only or one of the only Sasani first contact specialists that would be vocally channeled in the future.
No, I'm simply saying that I only come through this channel. There are other Sasani beings that can be connected with for a variety of reasons, whether it's about connecting to a first contact specialist or not. But I'm simply saying I am a first contact specialist, and this is the only channel I will come through.
Okay. So there
Does
could
that
be
clear it up?
um pretty much. I thought you said something about in order to focus ourselves in a certain direction for contact, you would be the only first contact specialist being channeled. But
Through this channel.
okay. All right. Yeah, that clears it up now.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
I had an experience recently where I was letting go of a lot of resistance,
Yes.
and I experienced that the reality that I was in, it seemed to be contained within another reality as I let go of more and more resistance. My consciousness expanded, so my
Yes.
previous reality was within a new reality that had a lot more options.
Yes. But you are a
And
new person in that reality. It wasn't even your reality that you've left. That's another version's reality.
so that was within the new person that I became.
You are a new person in a new reality. Yes. Billions of times per second.
Okay. And the previous person I was that contained within the new person?
You weren't
Uh-huh.
that person. It's contained within the oversoul, but you as a person were not that person. That person is a different person.
Okay.
Person is a malleable, temporary projection of consciousness for a particular reality experience. If you change your vibration, you become a new person in a new reality, a different person in a different
Okay.
reality.
I
That
wonder
doesn't
why
mean the other one doesn't exist, but that's its own reality and its own person that your consciousness is no longer looking through the eyes of, so to speak.
Okay. I wonder why it seemed like the old reality was within the new reality.
You can look at it that way if you want, but if that concept confuses you, then it might be better for you to just keep them as separate realities.
Oh, okay.
Everything is within everything because everything is here and now. But again,
Mhm.
if that's a confusing concept, you don't have to look at it that way.
Okay. It wasn't really that confusing, but I like having both options.
All right. If that provides the clarity you seek, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's just about how you define things that work for you
Okay.
because everything is here and now.
So I was also thinking that if I even let go of even more and more resistance, that I would shift to the reality where there were ETs.
And you may be doing that, but there's no insistence on the timing.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really insisting, but I was just wondering if that's how it mechanically works. Is it just a matter of letting go of resistance?
It's a matter of letting go of resistance or anything that's simply not relevant for the true you. And that means that you've made an agreement. In particular, if you are interacting with us, it's more likely than not that you are part of the agreement of experiencing open contact with extraterrestrials in whatever time frame that's relevant for those who have agreed to experience that as a collective.
Okay. So it's not just about letting go of resistance. There's other things that you let go of.
After you have let go of all resistance, you can continue to let go of things that are simply no longer relevant, even if they're not resistance or negative. There may be more streamlining, but again, if you just follow the formula, your life will unfold automatically, and you will automatically, if you continue to examine your belief systems, let go of the things that are either the result of resistance or simply no longer relevant for you.
Okay. Will our definition of the idea of limitations change as we evolve?
Yes, to some degree. This is why when we created the book, The Masters of Limitation, we say you go from being the masters of limitation to being the masters of limitation, which means you can more consciously pick and choose how to create borders for yourself, to focus yourself in particular reality experiences, because limitation is not necessarily a negative thing. You're using limitation right now upon your greater consciousness to even have what you call a physical experience. So limitation can be used in many positive ways.
Yes, I'm realizing that. And I even realized that you use limitations a lot, right?
Absolutely. We limit ourselves, especially in these encounters, to make sure that we are not in any way, shape, or form violating the idea of giving you information that it is not appropriate to give you. So we impose certain limitations upon our consciousness so that whatever it is we, shall we say, are not supposed to tell you, we simply will not have access to. We may have access to it when we go back into our normal selves, our own reality, but for the purpose of these conversations, we will actually block information that it is not appropriate to share with you because it would intervene in your own choices and your agreements.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we use limitation to all of our advantages in that way.
You even find it, you have a different theme than we do, but you also find that it's exciting to work with limitations in a way through seeing us and helping us work with them.
Without certain kinds of limitations, there are no surprises.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Right? If you could peer through the wrappings and the box that contain your presence, you would automatically know and not have the thrill of opening it to find out what's inside. So limitations are used in a variety of ways to create discovery and excitement and surprise.
And we're evolving to find them more in that way instead of seeing them as negative. And
yes, limitation is not inherently negative. It depends on how you use it. It depends on what causes it.
Yeah, I've been seeing them more as invitations to be creative.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because then you can, as you say, learn to think outside the box. If there is no box, you can't learn to think outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I was wondering if our human body is capable of as much ecstasy as yours is.
Yes, in its own interpretation, in its own reality, in its own way. Yes, there is an equivalent. It may not be exactly the same as what we experience, but there is an equivalent.
It seems like it would be more challenging for us to reach that state of ecstasy, though.
If you say so.
Oh, it's not?
No.
I don't say that. Okay. It's interesting.
Does realizing that you can achieve it allow you to feel more ecstasy?
Yes.
There you go.
All right. I want to ask you about affirmations.
Permission slips, yes.
But, well, yes, they are permission slips, but everything is, right?
Exactly. So what are you going to ask about?
I was wondering if, I mean, you said that lucid dreaming can change our template level reality.
It can, if you use it that way, yes.
And I experienced what I think I was using affirmations to actually change my template level reality.
Affirmations alone will not necessarily do it if there is no lucidity in the process.
But if there is lucidity.
If there is lucidity, you don't need the affirmations.
Well, how do you change it then? If you're in a lucid state?
You simply know what the template is, what the blueprint is, and you know what changes you prefer to make in it that don't violate the theme that you chose to explore.
But don't you?
It's an exercise of your free will in a lucid state on a higher level, recognizing what is the theme you chose to explore and being creative about how you can change the way in which it is explored. That's what can change. If you are done with a theme, then yes, you can change the theme as well. And it's just a matter of seeing the blueprint and making the adjustments, which in lucid states, you would automatically know how to do. The realization of how to do it would come with the lucidity.
Okay, so it wouldn't just be through thought like affirmations are?
No.
Okay.
Affirmations can be a tool to get you into lucidity, but lucidity itself brings the knowledge of how to change the template in the ways that are appropriate.
Could one of the ways be through an affirmation?
As I just said, affirmations can bring you possibly into a state of lucidity. but
Okay.
it's the lucid state itself that brings the awareness and knowledge of how to change the template in an appropriate way. The affirmations themselves don't do it. The affirmations can, if you believe in them, bring you into a state of lucidity. But lucidity is a different state than the affirmations themselves. And once you are lucid, you don't need the affirmations.
Hmm.
All
Okay.
right? All right.
I was in a state and I started to see all of my, a lot of my negative beliefs.
All right.
And
That
they were
can also be a
they're-
way to use a lucid state, to be more aware of yourself. We will eventually cover some of this in the idea that we will call the 3 questions of self-investigation, an upcoming transmission in what you call the future. And that will do for today.
All right. Ha'atu.
Ha'atu and Aveo.
Aveo.
Hi, Bashar. Recently over Hawaii, we had a lenticular cloud formation. This type of cloud formation is very commonly perceived as a UFO by the contact community. Is there a way to utilize a formation like that to amplify our preparation for contact?
Sometimes they generate a lenticular formation based on ionization of the electromagnetic field around the craft. So yes, sometimes they can be within it. Sometimes it is simply a weather phenomenon. And sometimes it is an indication of interdimensional connections. It is not always about a craft being in a lenticular cloud. You can utilize it as a symbol, as long as you do not necessarily confuse yourself as to the idea of whether or not there actually is a craft in the cloud. But you can use it as a symbol, as a reflection of the idea of making connections. Certainly, again, as a permission slip, it can be valuably used that way.
Positive timelines and to connect with our star brothers and sisters in a way that serves ourselves, uplifts ourselves, and serves humanity. I was just curious if there's, like, should we go outside and meditate in nature? Should we, just looking at opportunities to make that happen and maybe have a connection with the other group conscious people who are also interested in doing the same. Thanks, Bashar.
All you're saying is that you're following your passion by choosing to do so if that's what seems most exciting to you. And by following your passion, you are following the formula, as long as you don't forget all the other points of following the formula. And by doing so, that's what increases the probability of open contact and raises the vibration of light in your reality to go from 3rd density to 4th density physical reality experiences. That's all there is to it. Follow the formula. It doesn't leave anything important out.
Okay.
Good day.
I'm so excited.
Good day. Good day.
So excited to speak to you, Bashar.
And you as well. Good day.
Good day. I have 3 questions for you.
Yes.
My first one is, there were these beings that contacted me in a dream state, and I got the feeling or the sound of Lithians. They were almost kangaroo-like individuals. Can you tell me anything about them?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. Next question. I was living in Hawaii for a few years, and this happened 3 times to me. This entity or being came into my bed, and it I felt it lay behind me, and after that, it wrapped its arms around me, and it gets kind of confusing because I was confused that the first time it happened, whether I was dreaming or whether it was really happening. And when I felt its arms around me, it felt kind of hairy, spiky, to a sense. The first time I felt kind of a little bit scared and didn't know what it was or didn't know how to react. By the 3rd time it happened, to make it short, I was tired, and I spoke to it and I said, I'm tired. I can't really, I don't know if I said I can't really fight you or try to struggle. and I just let it go. And after that, it didn't happen anymore.
Yes. So for the purpose of allowing you to learn to let go and not struggle with the idea of making connections to other beings that you have made agreements to make connections with, it was in that sense a brief exercise to allow you to know that there is no reason to fear and that you can let go, and that letting go is the proper vibration to live your life in, so that whatever really needs to happen can happen more automatically, more effortlessly.
Wow. I love you, Bashar. I'm going to be 50 years old this Earth cycle, and I just feel like a champ.
All right, congratulations. Is there a third question?
Yes. The next question is, Willa Hilla Christen is 700 years in the future. I was wondering one day, how far can you perceive what we call the future? Can you perceive it? Can you see it 700 years past that?
To some degree we can. Again, it depends upon the purpose. The idea is that we understand that in about 1,000 of your years, humanity will have become the sixth hybrid race. And in a sense, overall, you will be done with the idea of incarnating on Earth. As the sixth hybrid race, you will blend with the other 5 to become the seventh hybrid race, which will usher in a 100,000 year piece in the idea of your quadrant of the galaxy.
Wow, amazing. Amazing. Those are my 3 questions, Bashar. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and I love you so much.
Our unconditional love to you as well. Aveo.
Aveo.
Greetings, Bashar. My name is Georgette Correa from Atlanta, Georgia. I had an experience in which I astral traveled, and I was with a being of light who she and I, say she, no gender, but she and I were levitated, and we were telepathically communicating. And I remembered only one line: "You'll know everything you need to know when you need to know it." And she said that because as I was being drawn back to my physical form, I started to forget. And I could literally see a veil closing in front of me as I was being pulled to my physical body. Who was that? What was that all about? Thank you.
It's your spirit guide. You have an astral experience with your spirit guide, reminding you of exactly that. You have this ability, you have this power, you have the ability to move forward. And by simply going back into the physical reality, you symbolized it as literally the closing of a veil. It's an interpretation of densification of energy and crystallization back into the physical reality level of consciousness. So it's just a way of interpreting going into a denser vibration. But that was your spirit guide, giving you a little bit of an astral education.
Bashar.
Good day.
I am very grateful to have another opportunity to interact with you. Thank you for making yourself available in this way.
It is our passion and our pleasure. What would you like to discuss?
I would like to test the information that I could channel for a friend regarding his abduction experience. I don't care if I'm right, but I care about being of help to him. And so this is what he experienced in his own words. I saw a 5.5 foot tall insectoid being with 4 antennae, 2 from its head, 2 from its cheeks. It was dark brown, black in color, had huge eyes, and somehow sent coercive energy to make me comply through the antennae. In an interview, he describes to find himself in a cave where there are also humanoid-looking beings and where he's looking at a vast array of screens that all played different androgynous images that were very vibrant in color and that were moving very fast from right to left. He was receiving information from the vertices between these fast-moving images. Could you please help him make sense of this and tell us what the scar from his encounter, which sometimes changes color, represents?
Yes. You are looking at a point in the history of the Greys, before they became the Greys, where they had understood they needed to become the Greys, mutate themselves in that way in order to reclaim their heritage and allow their culture to be perpetuated, whereupon they hired what most people on your planet refer to as the mantis beings, the insect-like beings, to be the overseers of this program of hybridization that would allow their culture to survive. But at a certain point, they were underground in what you call tunnels and caves to protect themselves from the damage they had caused on the surface of their planet, their version of Earth, in another reality, and were now at this point in what you have perceived, deciding exactly how to move forward, how they were going to change themselves, how they were going to become a unified hive mind, in a sense, becoming somewhat androgynous, losing certain abilities, so they could regain certain abilities in the creation of the hybrids, such as my civilization. This is what you were perceiving as that moment in their history.
Thank you.
Yes.
Us interacting with each other is building this beautiful container for unity consciousness on this planet. I find myself in the state of loving it and of integrating my divine masculine and divine feminine, my reptilian and my Pleiadian, my Orion and Sirian aspects, balancing the two brain hemispheres and evolving the global mind.
Yes.
I am what I am, and I love it. I don't do time wars. Life is too precious not to live in alignment with creation. And my question and request is there anything that the Interstellar Federation would maybe please like to share with the Move On Symposium this year, which is titled Aliens, Friend or Foe?
What you are always interacting with are friends. There are no foes around you, none that can reach you. The idea to understand is that there is a high probability, above 90%, of a major contact event happening somewhere around your year of 2026 and 2027 that will change everything and the way you look at life and the way you connect to the stars. So be prepared for the idea of an upliftment of vibration, a recognition of awareness and awakening to the idea that you are part of a galactic family, which is imminent, not too far away.
Thank you very much, Bashar. Thank you.
It is our passion and our pleasure. Aveo.
Aveo.